All right, everybody, this grass became this bowstring. The tools I used today were my knife. I used a saw especially on this, and my other Mora knife. Welcome to another episode of For You to Survive. Today I'm going to try to use grass, which feels like resistance here, so it's probably sedge. So I'm going to try to use grass to make a bowstring and start a fire with that. Now, it's good to have gloves because you can get little grass cuts or blisters. You can also use your knife to cut grass. I'm going to divide it in half roughly and make them into a bundle of fibers. I want to get an okay thick amount. So I already collected this grass, and I can barely make an okay sign out of this. So I'm going to take my grass and I'm going to put it around it like a cradle. I'm going to join it here and just twist. I'm going to twist it. Now I'm going to tuck in, and then there it is. I have 3 ties. 1, 2, 3. Now I can transport this grass confidently with less chance of losing it. I want to get a lot of grass because I don't know if I can find it where I'm going. So I don't want to wish I picked more. Here's my fireboard and my spindle. I still have to make a bow and a socket, but I wanted to be cool on this video and just go out with an already pre-made fire set, get a grass bowstring and start a fire, and 1, 2, 3, bam, it's over. Of course, real life, I didn't bring a fire set, so this is probably more realistic anyway. Wherever you find grass, you can find quite a lot of it. And it's best to pick this a little at a time because it's so strong. But I got this at the right time of year. A different time of the year, it might be too weak to work. I want you to see how there's like 2 parts to it. There's a left side and a right side. But let's just take a look at what's possible here. It likes to grow by water. Just look how much possible bowstrings there could be here. There's so much grass here, it's unbelievable. Okay, I'm going to want to keep these damp and moist so that they'll bend and not get fragile and break. So put this in here for a little bit, not too terribly long. That's enough. Now I'm going to work with them. All right, it's time to make a bowstring. Just like with any bowstring, I'm going to start small and build from there. Here's little parts where the roots came off, so I don't really want those parts. I'll just kind of take those off. Here we go. Reverse wrap time. Twist it until it forms the eye. For me, it's away and towards, away and towards. And that's the start of the bowstring. I'm going to keep adding fibers. This time I'm laying the grass on, so it kind of sticks out the end, the excess, so I'm going to cut those off later. It's kind of a different technique, but that's what I'm going to do because I want this to work the first time. I'll make my bowstring a little bit thicker because I want it to last and be durable. I want my spindle to be a little on the thicker side too, because I want that also to put less strain on the bowstring. And we're getting there. We're getting somewhere. A little bit at a time. As long as the bundles feel about the same thickness, I'm going to keep going. It's actually easier to twist cordage whenever it's thicker. It's that small, fine cordage that is hard on the fingers. Alright, fine. I'll bend some of this in. I don't want to have too much sticking out. I don't want to waste the grass because there's none of it anywhere close to me now. I wanted to pick the greener grass because the greener grass has a little bit more life and strength into it. Plus, the dead grass is weaker because it had a chance to degrade a little bit. Kind of going by feel. I can feel the thickness and I'm adding more fibers as needed. We're getting somewhere. I know I want the middle of the bowstring to be strong because that's usually where the spot where it breaks, if it's going to break. That could be a weak spot because it contacts the spindle more often than the farther parts of the bowstring that are farther away from the center of the bowstring. It feels like I got a fighting chance with this bowstring, but nothing's guaranteed. So I don't know if it's going to work. You should never get cocky about fire. As soon as you think you're all that, then you get your butt kicked. You learn a lesson. I'm going to keep going. I'll catch up to you when I've finished. It's time to finish the bowstring. I'm getting towards the end, so I'm just going to let it taper out, get real small, and then tie it into an overhand knot. And that's going to secure the end. There we go. But, as I told you before, I got those loose fibers there. Just cut them off. There, now we're cleaned up. Sometimes you can just pull them off. I need to dampen this bowstring to keep it moist so it stays strong. I'm also going to give it that second twist to really keep the strength in this bowstring. I made another piece of cordage. It's about 1 foot long. I'm going to reinforce the bow here at the end. I'll use a clove hitch. And that's probably all the cordage I have room for, and that's okay. Usually I like to get a reef knot on there, but doesn't mean I won't try. Yeah, I'll just get a single overhand in there. That's okay though. Alright. So I'm going to dip this in water and I'll be right back. Alright. It's dipped in water. The bow is a little bit more on the rigid side, but it does have some flex. I'm going to string it, put that loop over the end. I'll give it that second twist, wrap it around twice, keeping that second twist going. Got my 45-degree angle, twist it some more. Probably going to say right about there. That's where I need to go inside this reinforced split. I'm going to open up this cordage. I'm going to place this open part right through the reinforced split. And there it is. One part of the reverse wrap is there, the other part's there. I need to make my half hitch so this bowstring doesn't flop around, and then I'm ready to drill. I think as long as I get one of the reverse wrap openings in there, I should be okay. Put a little half hitch in there. In this case it looks like a big half hitch, and I'll hold it with my hand, and that's going to be the bowstring. Alright, time to give it a whirl. Because it's the same day, I got to burn in my spindle and my fireboard. My socket's white pine. I have 3 holes in it, and I put some white pine resin in there to lube it up. First, we got to burn this hole in. I want a little more tension on the bowstring. Nothing wrong with that. That's what you get when you use it. That should be good right about there. You're always tweaking and fine-tuning what you're doing. That doesn't mean, oh no, you don't know what you're doing. Because you're doing this, it shows that you know what you're doing. The bowstring securely in the bow. Here we go. Don't want this end flopping around. Put my half hitch back in there. Keep that end from flopping around. Here we go. Burn-in continues. I switched holes. All right, that's probably overkill. That counts for a burn-in. Nice. I'm going to reapply some white pine resin, cut the notch, and go from there. We have to fine-tune everything as best we can because we don't know how much life this bowstring has in it. So I don't want to overstress the bowstring. So that means my notch has got to be top notch, no pun intended. Okay, fine. The notch broke off. Got to do it again. I really don't want to prove how good this bowstring is. I just want to start fire. But I guess we have to prove just how good this bowstring is because, well, the notch broke. Unfortunately, that's what happens. Time to burn in a little bit more. All right, that's burned in. Now to make the notch again. Ideally, this notch doesn't break off. Okay, this is it. The bowstring's still damp. So all systems go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Whew. Nice. That's what I wanted. Oh. It worked. That's excellent. Nice, nice, nice. Time to blow it into flames. Oh, I'm so glad that this bowstring worked. Today's fine bundle of kindling is brought to you by ferns. The ferns are getting dead enough to use. I'm definitely using all this powder. I want this to work. We're still not done yet. Oh, already? All right. I love it. I'm gonna go put this in the fire pit. We have success. Oh, I love it, yeah. I use this grass to transport it because I don't want to burn myself. All right, everybody, this grass became this bowstring. Yes, it's on the thick side. I was actually able to make 3 embers with it, and it burned in a spindle, it burned in a hole. This was my socket, and I probably still have about another ember left in this fireboard, but I'm not going to push my luck. So this was a same-day fire set. The tools I used today were my knife. I used a saw especially on this, and my other more a knife, carbon steel one, and that helped me carve the fireboard and get things done. Carve the spindle. So thank you for watching. Oh, by the way, is someone going to tell me that you had this bowstring on you the whole entire time?